Hello, I'm Robert Perkins, the immigration professor. You can catch out me and my videos at my website, www.immigration-professor.com. We have videos on a variety of immigration topics, both for sponsors, employers, and employees from other countries. You could also call our offices. We have offices in Illinois, California. We service the entire United States. You can call us at 310-384-0200. Today is part 2 in my two-part series about H-1B visas. In part 1, we went over the legal requirements for H-1B visas, that you needed a job that requires a degree, a professional job, that U.S. employers typically require a degree. The employee has to have a degree, and the employer has to pay the prevailing wage. Today we're going to go a little bit over the procedures for H-1B visas and also a little bit about the costs that are involved in this day and age. So the procedures are, the first part of the procedure is that the employer has to file what's called a labor condition application. It's filed online with the Department of Labor. What is the labor condition application? Well, our Congress was concerned when they passed the law regarding H-1B visas. They were worried about an employer potentially hiring someone from another country and not paying them what's called the prevailing wage. So what they did with this is the employer is required to file with the Department of Labor what's called an attestation, which is the labor condition application, that they are indeed paying the prevailing wage. And they're supposed to keep documents in what they call a public file, which is a file at the employer's place of business showing how they arrived at the wage, what salary surveys were used. They have to show that they're not not paying the prospective immigrant less than a similarly situated U.S. worker. And again, the LCA is filed online and it's certified fairly quickly. So that's step one, is the Department of Labor. The other part of the Department of Labor is the employer actually has to put on, in two conspicuous places, notice to its employees that they are hiring H-1B workers. And what they're paying. They don't have to put the specific person, but they do have to put the job. For example, let's say they are hiring an IT engineer and they're paying $55,000 for the job. They're putting notice of this so that if one of their employees looks at it, they say, hey, the prevailing wage is $80,000. That employee can then complain to the Department of Labor, and that's how they enforce the law. It's kind of a self-enforcement mechanism. So that's the first part of this. It usually takes a few days. Sometimes it's taken a few weeks. Once the labor condition application is approved, you can then file with the Immigration Service. It's now called the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, and the H-1B visa. And a couple of questions that typically come up are, how long does it take and what does it cost? The typical processing time, there's no real typical time, but I would say over the years, this is kind of a ballpark based on my experience of 20 years, is usually about 3 to 4 months. There's a big however, which is that some years back, immigration started a service called premium processing, and that service, the employer pays an extra $1,000. I want to underline the word extra because there's a lot of fees involved with an H-1B. And the case, they get a decision in 15 days or less. It doesn't necessarily mean a positive decision, but it means some kind of decision. And the decision is either yes, no, or more evidence. And then when the employer submits the additional evidence needed, then it's 15 days from the time that they submit that evidence. You can see all of our videos on a variety of immigration topics on my website, which is www.immigration-professor.com, or on YouTube at immigration_FAQ, or if you need specific advice about a case, please call our offices at 310-384-0200. So that's kind of the basic procedure in an H-1B case. And a couple questions have come up in terms of the cost. What can we expect to pay for this? So we're going to go over the costs and sort of break them down a little bit. board that's not really complying with us, but we'll do the best we can. There we go. All right. Okay, so what are the costs? It's kind of broken down into several different fees. And all these fees have been added on by our Congress over time. It's just become kind of a maze or quagmire as Congress has wrestled with the issue of H-1Bs. So there's the regular form fee, which is the I-129 fee, which currently is $320 as of the time this video is being made, which is December 8th of 2009. And then Congress passed another law that basically says that they want some of the money from an H-1B to go to train U.S. workers who might be displaced by the job. So you have the retraining fee, and that fee depends on the size of the employer. If it's less than 25, then the retraining fee is $750. If it's more than 25, it is $1,500. And then the last fee is called the anti-fraud fee. I don't recall necessarily why this one was imposed. I guess they were seeing a lot of fraud, is my guess. That fee is $500. There are several exemptions from those fees, but unfortunately they are not a topic for this video. If you need some legal advice on those, please visit our website at www.immigration-professor.com or call our office at 310-384-0200 to talk about that. But you can see that these fees can be quite steep. Let's say you're a larger company, and you see $1,500, $500, that's $2,320. And then I talked earlier in the video about premium processing fee. If you wanted premium processing, that's $1,000 tacked onto that. And immigration attorneys have a variety of different fees for this, and it's hard to say who charges what. Obviously, with any professional fee, some of the fee will depend on the quality of service you get and who you're getting. But I would say in the U.S., the fees range somewhere between $1,500 to $2,500 to do an H-1B. So let's say you're paying an attorney about $2,000 to do the petition. Just as an average, you're looking at, let's see, $3,043.20 to do a premium H-1B, and $33.20, if it's not premium. So it can be a pretty expensive process to do an H-1B. On the plus side of the H-1B, it is a 6-year visa, up to 6 years. It's 3 years, 3 plus 3, which is unlike most other visas, which have less duration. And the other nice part about an H-1B is because the person can intend to immigrate, there's less a chance of them getting denied at the embassy when applying for an H-1B overseas. Again, you can see all my videos at my website, www.immigration-professor.com, or please call our office about any specific case, 310-384-0200. Thank you very much.